Super Dave here for another review.
Super Dave here, me and Groku. And that's right, even Groku sporting the super shirt. And today, in this special review, we're going to be looking at two backstories. About 50 years before Prince Adam, there was Vykron, and he was a gladiator that fought in the arena, in Lord Cholo's arena, as he was the lord at that time of the Vine Jungle. And we're going to look at Vykron, and we're also going to look at another He-Man style figure that was back before Prince Adam, of course, and that is Olar, the original, the He-Man that the goddess anointed and gave him that armor. So let's check these out and break open our Vykron. First of all, looking at the box, you see this big star here, and it says, based on original He-Man trio prototypes. This was back when they were trying to decide what He-Man would look like, and there was G.I. Joe going on, there was Star Wars going on, and then there was Barbarians, and that's kind of what inspired these three outfits that come with this huge box of goodies. And of course, this was the Masters of the Universe 1982 to 2012 30-year anniversary edition. And let's check this out as we open the box here. And here we are. There is Vykron with the three interchangeable armors. So there is our prize. And then, of course, you have some other selling points on the back. And then you have that bio card that you can see there. And so let's go ahead and open up our Vykron and check him out. And here is our Vykron in both a barbarian on the left kind of outfit, and then almost a Star Wars space-like outfit on the right there, and then also packaged in this packaging with those outfits, because it only comes with one figure and three outfits, is that tank-looking outfit there, which I'm not really going to cover that. There's the look you're going to get of that right there. I'm not even going to put that on him because I think it looks ridiculous. That's just my prerogative. It does come with a machine gun over here, but that's that. Okay, but Vykron was 50 years, like we said, before Prince Adam was born. Vykron was a gladiator in the arenas under Lord Cholo, which that's going to be my Lord Cholo in this pretend universe here with this video over there, which is actually a Mythic Legion character, but that's Lord Cholo here. And this gladiator could dress up like this and fight as a gladiator or as a barbarian, because this was the kind of the time period of warriors like Conan the Barbarian, and also this was the time period of Star Wars becoming very popular. So they weren't Mattel wasn't really sure which direction they wanted to go, but just take notice very quickly at the similarities of the helmet, the style of that visor. See that? Yep. See that was inspired by Boba Fett, and certainly even the backpack. I mean, see, you got the backpack on the back, kind of like Mando in The Mandalorian as well. And then you have, of course, again, like the Barbarian. And then back to the tank just for a moment. That was also because, you know, G.I. Joe was very popular back then too. And so here you have the prototypes, the concept of what He-Man could have looked like. And of course, we know what they went with. But in this particular scenario, they gave Classics, MOTU Classics, a backstory for this character. Vykron gained new skills and combat techniques from his vanquished opponents and captured their weapons. And so he was able to use various techniques, various skills, from hand-to-hand combat to swordsmanship, the battle axe there that he has, even weapons like the one on the right here. And so that's the backstory of this character. But you might ask, so what happened to Vykron? What happened to him indeed? Well, Gygor, the great ape, claims not only the arena championship, defeating the champion Vykron and rips his body in half. And so the great Gygor, that jungle ape looking thing, there's a picture over there, he becomes the champion and he vanquishes Lord Cholo and becomes the ruler over the vine jungle himself. And so that's how that came to be. Now, just to show you very quickly, the articulation to these characters are very similar to the normal ones. You have bicep swivel. You can, get a good range of motion with their heads. You do have ab crunch forward and a little bit back there. You can get full splits, thigh rotation. It does have boot cut, but you see these parts just strap on to there, just like you have this part that straps on to make him the barbarian looking Vykron. So you just strap those on, as well as the gauntlets here. And so that's the idea here on these outfits. You actually put this vest on, pop off this head. You can actually replace the hair and helmet portion here and just pop this off, and you see it has that indentation, and so you can replace that. And so that's how that swaps out here. And so that is just very cool. And after this video, after we go over Olar here in just a moment, we're going to show you a little bit of customizing that you can do to give a different look to this particular Vykron figure, because I really like this chest plate here. This very He-Man-esque looking chest plate, and then the addition of that fur on the back, which is just really cool, I think. But anyway, looking at this one, you see he's got, again, that backpack, that jet pack that he can blast off and fly. And then he also has not only this big vest thing, but then this belt that goes around, and you have to strap that on back here, which is very difficult. You had to use the hair dryer heat up trick to kind of get that on. And then this just pops on with the indentation right there, and that's really neat. It stays on very well. It stays on together. This kind of covers up the silver belt there of the barbarian style Vykron. And again, remember, this only comes with one figure. I just had an extra Vykron figure in the barbarian outfit, so I could show you the comparison of these two together. And so there you have it. You have Vykron in barbarian form, and then in kind of a Star Wars-esque kind of form there, if you will. And next character we're going to look at from the history of MOTU Classics is Oo-Larr. And there's his shipper box, and he is really cool indeed. He comes in that traditional blister card, and one of the things that you need to understand about this particular character, he's known as the Jungle He-Man or the Savage He-Man, but this is the actual artwork, the way he looked, He-Man looked before the goddess and sorceress came to him, approached him in the original mini comics. This was the concept of He-Man right here, the way he looks before the goddess, of course, brought him the armor. So let's break him open, but first let's just look at his bio card very quickly. If you would like to look at that, you can pause and read that as well. There's that original artwork right there also that you can see that was in the mini comics of him. And here is our Olar, Lord of the Jungle Tribe, and he was the last warrior known as the He-Man before the birth of Prince Adam. He left his home in the vine jungle seeking adventure and excitement when he rescued the goddess, and so she chose him to become the new protector of the two halves of the Sword of He. She also gave him a Cordite power vest, which is right there. And so that, of course, the Cordite power vest was able to give him increased strength and stamina. He had many adventures, including teaming up with the goddess to defeat Gygor, because Gygor, that ape-like beast, remember the one that defeated Vicron, so that's what ties these two together in a way. He's the Lord of the Jungle because, of course, he defeated Vicron and usurped Lord Cholo. And so he leads an army of beastmen in a series of raids against the long-forgotten Castle Grayskull. And through the combined powers of the Jungle He-Man, or Savage He-Man here, as we see on the pedestal here, and the goddess of Eternia, Gygor is defeated and placed in a state of suspended animation. So he defeats Gygor. Now, Olar's last quest was to unite the two halves of the Sword of Power, allowing the sorcerers to clone it for the second one, which was given, of course, to She-Ra, twins of destiny. And so Olar then separated the swords once again and hid its halves on opposite sides of Eternia. Olar later did fight the evil Skeletor. Skeletor had opened a portal to Despondos, but after 3 strikes with Olar's mighty battle axe, Olar sends Skeletor back behind the Mystic Wall. And so that's kind of the last time you hear about Savage He-Man, or here you have the Lord of the Jungle tribe, He-Man. He passes his Cordite vest on to Prince Adam, of course, before he dies. That is what allows him, passing the torch, so to speak, to allow him to then take on the reins as He-Man. And of course, he had the battle axe and a battle shield as Savage He-Man. Looking at what Olar comes with, first thing he comes with is, of course, that spear with the Indian spearhead type Indian head looking on it, on the end there. And then he also comes with this basic, very thin sword here that he can use to fight off enemies. And then one of the prizes that really came handy with this particular Olar was a vintage He-Man style head. And this is kind of the prize everybody wants. And we can really not have enough of this, but it looks more like the original vintage head. There you go, you can see a picture of it there. And so this is one of the things that comes with Olar. And then lastly, Olar came with a comic book that's in the wrapper still inside there. It came with the one called The Fall of Eternia, Masters of the Universe, first of a 3-part saga. And you see Adora in her evil form back there, as well as King He-Man. But that's cool. Says at the bottom, Homecoming. And here's our Vykron with a couple of variations of what you could possibly do for a custom. Here is the actual Conan body from the Super 7 Conan. I took his body from Super 7 and I made that particular figure with, then I took his boots. Of course, I took Olar's head, that vintage head, and put on top. And then from the knee down, that's Preternia disguised He-Man's legs from the knee down, and just a regular power sword. So that's kind of cool. And this is Iser's body with Vykor's battle armor chest plate with a faker head. So you could have like a faker, ice faker, or, you know, a blue ice He-Man. Either way. But those are kind of some cool ideas, and of course there's a lot of other cool things you could do. It's just that grayish white washed out fur matches Iser's trim already, and also that same fur on the back of that cool harness matches the trim around the boots of Disguised He-Man. I did paint the burgundy, because if you remember, those boots from Disguised Preternia He-Man has a burgundy boot. I did paint that brown, but that fur around the boots of Preternia Disguised He-Man matches the back of Vykron's chest armor. So that's really cool. And of course, he's got Conan's little knife that comes out there. And you know the articulation of these guys. So there you go. Just some ideas and some cool looks with these two figures. And of course, don't forget we had our Olar here. And he's neat. Again, he's one of the only figures I believe you get with actual bare feet. But there you have it, my friends. You have Vykron and you have Olar. So the question is, could MOTU have a story with the child? Okay, so it's just an idea, but there is I've seen others do this too, but there's you have that concept prototype of He-Man in that Star Wars-esque type armor holding Grogu. And the real Mando is back there, is like, okay, bud, what are you doing with the child? All right, that does it for us this time. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and share, and next time we'll see you on another Super Dave review. Thank you for joining us.